very, very successful musician. How many know Bob Seger? You know, yeah, Bob. And I don't know if you know it or not. You know, he pulled when his kids came along and whatever. He pulled back, and you know, Bob was very successful, and he stayed there until his kids left for college, and now he's back. And he has got all the Silver Brothers band together. He got a new album out. And I was listening to it. It's absolutely great. And I love those 70-year-old rock and rollers. It's great. Oh, I know. As long as Keith Richards keeps trucking, you'll see me standing behind this pole. Anyhow, everybody say, I use my daily treatment. Because it tunes me. See that? How many know that treatment every morning when you get it? If you're not doing it for yourself, get the Creative Thought magazine. How many know that Creative Thought magazine has the best editor on the planet? Good. I tell you, I thought the other day as I'm watching Cynthia work on this magazine, that if the people of religious science only knew how much time and effort and love and commitment goes into what she does with this magazine. And why is it here? This started in 1954 by Dr. Raymond Charles Barker, Dr. Robert Bitzer, and Dr. Frank Richelieu, and they all got together, and the three of them were writing all the treatments for this thing, along with Elizabeth Marshall, who was my teacher, and others. And they got together and said, we need a magazine, that they did. They said, this is what's going to bind us all together, and it did. And as anybody who's been here any time know, I haven't missed an issue in 36 years. I've been in every single issue of this magazine. And it is, if I look back over my life, one of the most important things I think I have done with my life is make this contribution. And it is wonderful when you contribute to the magazine that is going out all over the world to hear from people all over the world. Thank you. I read your treatment today. It changed my life. And of course I write back and said, no, it changed. What changed your life was your acceptance of it. Religious science, people say, changed my life. No, religious science didn't do anything except wake you up to your own possibility. We never promised anybody we're going to do anything for anybody except wake you up to the ability within you to do anything and everything for yourself if you so choose. If you just want the information, that's fine. And I know a lot of people who have a whole head full of knowledge and not one cotton-picking bit of wisdom because they're not doing anything with the knowledge. And then you have people who decide to do something with it. Wait a minute. If I know on Sunday here it's good enough to be true, maybe I might wake up Monday and act like it's good enough to be true. Okay? And give like it's good enough to be true, and receive like it's good enough to be true. Everyone say the consciousness. That intelligent love in me, as me, is me, is my priceless knowledge. How could you put a price tag on that? Sit down and think about how grateful you are that you now can define yourself in ways the world has never even thought of. Because the world will try to get you to conform to it. The world will try to get you to do what? To be hypnotized by it, to live at its level. Don't confuse me with the facts. My mind's made up. I remember when we first started, we had guests who came, friends of ours. And they were a little bit concerned about the fact that we left Southern California and moved north and started a church, and they didn't want right. And so they were up here visiting. They said, well, what are you doing anyway? And we're trying to explain. And they looked at us and said, you think about that stuff? We never thought about that stuff. I've never thought about that stuff in my life. I said, what do you do? He said, well, we just go down and the minister tells us what to think, and that's it. And that's it. And that's it. And that's fine, and that's good. For those who ask why, and want an answer, for those who want to know more clarity and want an answer, for those who want to be led to the greatness of self, for those who throughout the age, both east and west, have allowed themselves to look at the lessons within the stories they were telling, because these were Eastern teachers who taught in parables. These lessons that they taught then didn't become true because they were teaching them. They were teaching them because they were true, and the truth of them then is the truth now. And that is what? It is done unto you as you believe. Be grateful for that. Wherever your mind goes, your world follows. Everyone say, today, peace, harmony, and health.
Today, peace, harmony, and health.
Is my loving purpose.
Is my loving purpose.
Where?
Right here, right?
Say right here, right now. But here's the thing, okay? Everyone say, all my activities.
All my activities.
See, there it is. See, well, I'll just do it over here. I'll just bless these. Okay. See, our challenge is to do what? If I be lifted up, everything around me be lifted up. In simple terms, is the absence, my dear friends, of seeking that reveals the wonder of what we are. Stop seeking it. Stop trying to find it. There's a simple and awesome mystery within us. All we have to do is unveil it and reveal it. There's a mystery in you and me that is beyond our ability to express it in words. We have been told for thousands of years, if you try to define what God is, you make it less than what it is. In the Old Testament, back in that period, if you tried to pronounce the name of God. How many remember Life of Brian? When John Cleese is standing there about to execute somebody. He said, the reason we're executing is because he pronounced the name of Jehovah. And they all threw rocks at him. Yahweh. Okay. No. Okay. Now, the reason it can't be pronounced because it's everywhere at once. It's everything at once. It is everything it is. And whatever we understand it is that much more. And the discovery we're making, as I said in the beginning, is nothing more than it discovering more about itself as us. This afternoon, Scott's going to do a wonderful seminar based on the application of love in your life that I recommend to you. And what he's talking about, and what I'm talking about this morning, and what any good teacher of this is talking about at any time, is that we have the ability within our own now and our own consciousness to reap the harvest of the age in our own moment. We don't have to celebrate that somebody 2,000 years ago knew this. Our challenge is to know what we know now and to act like what we know. Job 22:21 says, acquaint now thyself with him and be at peace, thereby good shall come unto thee. If you really know it, you know that it is everything you are, and whatever you praise and honor within it, if you're not doing it with yourself, then you are you're just doing what? You know, you're just being inspired without doing anything about it. You know, Dr. Craig Carter, my wonderful teacher and friend and mentor, used to point out when I was sitting around doing all my meditation, and by the way, if you're coming Wednesday night, we're going to do some Alan Watts meditation that I learned from him, and we were going to have some wonderful experiences there. But the wonderful thing about it is this. Everyone say, inspiration is wonderful.
Inspiration is wonderful.
But I can starve to death while being inspired. You got it? How many know people that start them? I'm so inspired. You know, they've got two dimes to rub together. So inspired. You know, they don't know what's going to happen. The challenge is to be inspired now, and then let the inspiration, everybody say, I let my inspiration become my application. Okay. Dr. Holmes said, inspiration without application is hallucination. Okay. So we inspire and we go forward. We inspire, lift our consciousness and go forward. 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 Everybody realize that I'm describing the stair steps to heaven? You go up, forward, up, forward, up, forward. A lot of people just banging their head into the now. They're not going up. What are we told? Look into the hills. Look higher. That doesn't mean physically look higher. It means metaphysically look higher. Spiritually look higher. Understand the principle. Do not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, which means what? Do not ever, ever, ever say I am and put something negative after it. Consciousness can always make an investment in spiritual ideas. How many know that's true? Consciousness can always make an investment in spiritual ideas. This is why, pick this book up and read it every morning. There's a spiritual idea on every page. The ministers who contribute to this all over the world and the practitioners who do it spend hours and hours and hours so you can wake up tomorrow morning and pick it up and reveal what? A greater idea of you. It's in first person. All of them have the 5 steps of treatment. And if you're not getting this year's magazine, I recommend that you get it and try to get all of them, because Arthur Vergara's, how many have already found the Arthur Vergara's articles? Aren't they great? This, I'll tell you what, this is a history lesson you couldn't pay for. Anyway, what Arthur's putting in this magazine this year. And Cynthia's just having a ball working with him and working with this material. Everyone say, I choose to care for myself.
I choose to care for myself.
Invest in my life.
Invest in my life.
And I do it by being here.
I do it by being here.
Don't be in yesterday. Don't be in your negative stories. Don't be in your blame game. Don't be in any expectancy except greater idea of you. The infinite potential within you, as you, is you. And as you assert this activity in your own heart and mind, what you're doing is you're inserting within your own experience a spiritual understanding that you're giving permission to evolve into a greater, clearer, healthier, and simpler idea of you. God in action. The reward of this, or the return of this investment that you're making, centered in gratitude, is ongoing. It is magnificent. It is beyond anything you could ever imagine. It's good enough to be true. And as you set it in motion, knowing that all things are possible, I don't care what your reason, your doubt, your fear, let it go and all reasons for it. And the beautiful as you, the magnificence as you, the health as you, the prosperity as you, good enough to be true, becomes everything you are in the now. And there's nothing that can stop it. Let it be your way. Namaste.
Namaste.